A few days ago, when I pulled into my parking lot at home after a busy day's work, I was really amused to find a huge commotion going on there. And curious as I was, I went and investigated the cause. The center of the commotion was a normally very quiet person called Ahmed, and he was making a huge ruckus. He was actually shouting beyond the limits of decency. And I found out the cause. Someone had encroached into his parking space. Not a huge encroachment, just by a few inches beyond the line. And Ahmed was fighting as though something terrible had happened. I kept this incident in my mind, and a few days later, Ahmed's CEO visited my house, and I narrated to him what happened. And his CEO, Krishna, by the way, both the names are changed, so these are real people but with not real names. His CEO became very thoughtful and said, he's the kind of person who's actually a picture of gentlemanliness at the office. He's quiet, he's very polite, he's excellent in his relationships, and I can't even imagine what you're saying actually happened. And then he grew a little more thoughtful and he said, I think it's all because of stress. And it occurred to me that stress really makes mean people out of us. It not only depresses us, it evokes anger in us. Stress causes us to do some terrible things. It breaks our relationships. It causes us to perform well under our potential. And workplace stress is a reality. More than 70 people in any kind of study say they're facing stress of some kind or the other. The top reason, according to me, would be poor setting of job expectations. Now, we know that there are objectives set every year. We know that every job has a job description, but we also know that reality is very different from the document. We also know that we are asked to do so many things that we did not even know we had to do. I think setting up the right expectations between the superiors and the employees is very, very important in understanding what the job is. Secondly, is job insecurity. Many people go through their jobs wondering when they're going to get fired, or when they're going to get demoted, or when they're going to be taken off this prestigious assignment. That kind of insecurity leads to stress, sure shot. And then there is poor work-life balance. We are supposed to have a proper balance in our life. That's very obvious, isn't it? But we go about being on the job, if not physically, at least mentally, having our smartphones with us and being at the beck and call of various customers and stakeholders 24/7. I think that's really bad handling of work-life balance, and as sure as hell, it can cause stress to you. And there are various manifestations of stress. We have people getting angry, we have people getting depressed, we have people having bad relationships, we have people underperforming, we have people just not managing their career very well. And so I just want to share a few tips. Number one is about feeling. Yes, that's true. Many people think being professional is not entertaining any kinds of feelings, being like a Mr. Spock or something like that, and not having any kinds of feelings. But feelings are human. They're a reality. Know your feelings. Sometimes express your feelings. Sometimes understand your feelings. And understanding when you're feeling stress is a very important step to actually handling your stress. So be in touch with your feelings. Yes, even at the workplace. Be in touch with your feelings, and then go on to the next F, which is finding. You should find out why you're feeling the way you feel. Find out, in effect, where this stress is coming from. You'll notice that you've been so busy that you've not understood how stress has gradually crept into your routine. But you've got to find out carefully, what is it that is really stressing me out? Find out the cause of the stress. The more you find out about it, the more you can handle it, the more you can isolate it. And then there's number three, free yourself of many responsibilities. They say the most smart people, the people who handle their career very well, they don't take every job that is available. They don't jump at every task that is there. They're very choosy. In fact, they free themselves out of so many different things, and it's important. If you have to handle your stress well, you have to free yourself of probably about 40 to 50% of what you're doing right now. Not just be irresponsible in freeing yourself out of it, but negotiate with your superiors, negotiate with your colleagues, ensure that the right persons who are good at it do that job. You don't have to take everything onto your plate. And number 4, and very important, and probably the biggest step that you can do today, face up to it. Understand where you're strong, where you're weak, face up to it and say that, I'm going to take this challenge and I'm up to this challenge and I can do this, and I can do it with good planning, and I can do it with good discipline, and I can do it by admitting where I need to learn. Don't think about the stakes right now. Just think that every experience can make me learn. And yes, even if you make mistakes, look at the value of that mistake. How much you can learn from that mistake, which you can never learn on your own without making that mistake. So face up to it. So be in touch with your feelings, find out where that stress has come from, and free yourself of many of the things that you have too much on your plate of, and then face up to it. And if you follow these 4 principles, I'm sure you'll go a long way in handling stress. I'm thinking of my friend who is very stressed out nowadays, and he said, according to him, that it's because of his boss. He said she is a very stressed out person, and because of her, we've lost the ability to smile at the workplace. He said she's always having some kind of a headache or some kind of a physical manifestation, maybe indigestion or something like that. And because she's so stressed out, even ordinary occasions where they should have a very enjoyable meeting are turning out to be very stressed. It's a cycle. And somewhere, someone has to stand up and break the cycle by facing up to your stress and handling your stress. And I believe it's going to be you.